Hello, everyone, and welcome to 15 must-have titles from picture books to YA. My name is Vikki VanSickle, and I am the Director of Marketing and Publicity for the Young Readers Program at Penguin Random House Canada, which includes the imprints Tundra Books, Puffin Books Canada, and Penguin Teen Canada. We publish a diverse list of creators from all around the world, and our books are sold across North America. For our American friends, you can purchase our books from wherever you buy your Random House Kids books. We use the same sales force and distribution avenues. Now, I hope you have a treat and maybe something autumnal to drink. I am more of an apple cider girl than a pumpkin spice one, but whatever your autumnal beverage of choice, we have some delightful book pairings for you ahead. I'm going to take myself off camera so you can focus on our titles and the gorgeous art, and also so you cannot see me getting cinnamon spice all over my nice fall sweater. Our first book is Time is a Flower. One of the statements I've heard the most frequently during this pandemic is, what is time? It seems like our perceptions of time, patience, growth, and everything that comes along with these topics has been thrown for a loop. So, what is time? Beloved award-winning author-illustrator Julie Morstad has a beautiful, thoughtful take on this philosophical question. Time is a seed waiting to grow, a flower blooming, a sunbeam moving across a room. Time is slow, like a spider spinning her web, or fast like a wave at the beach. In this magical meditation on the nature of time, Julie Morstad shines a joyful light on a difficult to grasp concept and reminds readers to see the wonders of our world, including children themselves, through the lens of time. Julie's art is always stunning, but Time is a Flower is an example of a true master working at the top of her craft. I think people will particularly be smitten with the tactile nature of the spiderweb page, but you're going to have to check it out in person to see what I mean. We're all obsessed with this book at Tundra, and as you can see by the 3-star reviews and counting, we're not the only ones. Next, we have Little Witch Hazel, A Year in the Forest by Ezra Jack Keats winner Phoebe Wall. Little Witch Hazel is a tiny witch who lives in the forest, helping creatures big and small. She's a midwife, an intrepid explorer, a hard worker, and a kind friend. In this 4-season volume, Little Witch Hazel rescues an orphaned egg, goes sailing on a raft, solves the mystery of a haunted stump, and makes house calls to fellow forest dwellers. Little Witch Hazel is the cottagecore book of my dreams, a beautiful ode to nature, friendship, and the answer to the question, what book should I get that hip, witchy friend of mine? Phoebe Wall's love of nature and distinctive, vibrant style brings to mind an American Tove Jansson, and this 96-page collection is a book families will reach for all year long. It already has 2-star reviews, was an Indie Next selection, and if this spread isn't enough to get you hooked, there is an adorable trailer that you should check out on our social channels. Our next picture book, The Unforgettable Party, feels very timely, especially for those of us celebrating our 2nd pandemic birthdays. Caterpillar is so bored, but everyone knows the best cure for boredom, an unforgettable party. He has everything he needs: apple juice, confetti, decorations, party hats, and star stickers to stick on your face. Everything is perfect except for one missing ingredient: friends. Unfortunately, none of Caterpillar's friends are available, so he comes up with an ingenious solution. Using a marker, he creates 6 new friends on himself. They dance, they play, they put on costumes, and even eat 7 feet of pizza. This offbeat story celebrates imaginative play, offers a unique take on self-care, and fully embraces its weirdness. In Bear Wants to Sing, a bear finds a ukulele in the woods and is inspired to write his own song. But Bear isn't the only animal in the forest to find musical inspiration that day, and Snake, Crow, and Tortoise keep stealing his turn to perform. When they finally give Bear the opportunity, they are less than enthusiastic. Discouraged, Bear shelves his musical career forever, but the kindness, empathy, and appreciation of his best friend Mouse will remind him that his art is not only worthy, but inspiring. This is the 2nd collaboration of Carrie Fagan and Dina Sefferling, following the critically acclaimed King Mouse. Like its predecessor, this book is also garnering praise and has 2-star reviews so far. There is something so affecting in Bear's earnest nature and disappointment that I find myself getting a little choked up every time I read this book. The tenderness of the art and clarity of the text will resonate with anyone who's ever felt unworthy. We talk a lot about social emotional learning, but rare is the book that delivers both the message and the cathartic experience. Bear Wants to Sing is a true exercise in empathy. Our next picture book features a young Wayne Gretzky and his childhood teammates. In grade 2, Taylor and Wayne have been working with Coach Wally on their perfect play. Now that their team is going to the biggest tournament in the country, they'll have a chance to show it off. But as the tournament goes on, Taylor is distracted by the loud cheering crowd and his confidence starts to fade. Lucky for him, Coach Wally is in his corner, reminding Taylor that it's okay to be nervous, but the most important thing is to remember that he is part of a team, working together with his teammates. As Coach Wally says, if you have a good time, work hard, and do your best, that is all that matters. This is a companion to Great, a picture book inspired by Wayne Gretzky's father and beloved coach, the late Walter Gretzky. Both books deal with confidence, anxiety, and the importance of being a team player. I think picture books about sports are a great vehicle to discuss social emotional concepts as they provide relatable, real-world scenarios. Our next picture book, Gemma and the Giant Girl, is a whimsical modern fairy tale. A doll in an old forgotten dollhouse, Gemma wonders if she will ever grow up, but her parents tell her she will always be their little girl. But then one day the doll is opened by a giant and Gemma's whole life changes. With the soft palette and its poignant themes of what it feels like to be small in a big world, Gemma and the Giant Girl is a story that evokes children's classics such as The Borrowers, Mary and the Mouse and Mary. A great deal of people have turned to dollhouse making and decorating during the pandemic, and we think this modern classic will appeal to kids and adults alike. Next, we're moving on to our graphic novels for early readers. Get ready to dive into 4 new stories about narwhal and jelly. In the 6th book in this blockbuster series, the 2 best friends come across an enthusiastic school of fish one morning. Unfortunately, Mr. Blowfish, their teacher, has come down with a cold and class will have to be canceled until Narwhal and Jelly volunteered to help out. Kids will love learning waffle-matics, going on a super fun science scavenger hunt, and playing a game of tag. You're awesome. Narwhal's teaching methods may be unconventional, but with Jelly's help, the 2 teach and learn with their trademark positivity and humor. This phenomenally successful series is a category buster that paved the way for early graphic novels. With an Eisner Award, a New York Times bestselling title, and over 2 million books in print, everyone loves Narwhal and Jelly. Don't tell anyone, but I think this is my favorite book in the series so far. Given the disruptions we've had in the school year, Narwhal and Jelly's enthusiasm for school and teachers is exactly the book we need to ease kids back into some semblance of normal and remind them that school can be fun. Meet Weenie, a meatloaf-obsessed wiener dog and his best friends, Frank and Beans, in this hilarious early graphic novel for fans of Narwhal and Jelly and the bad guys. Weenie loves his human Bob. He loves his guinea pig friend Beans and his cat friend Frank. He loves naps, adventures, and sharing. In fact, Weenie loves pretty much everything, except the mail carrier. But the thing Weenie loves and desires more than anything else in the world is meatloaf, and he'll do anything to get it. I am absolutely obsessed with the artwork in this new series. The expressions on the faces of Weenie and friends are priceless and make me laugh every time. Author Maureen Fergus is a seasoned writer who's honed her ability to create characters and funny dialogue across picture books, middle grade, and YA. This might be her first graphic novel, but we think this series is cream of the crop when it comes to the chapter book age range. Look for more adventures and more snacks later next year. Next is our 3rd graphic novel series, perfect for emerging readers. Super Sleepover is the 2nd book in Cale Atkinson's Laugh Out Loud new series, Simon and Chester. Welcome to the world of Simon and Chester, ghost and boy duo extraordinaire. They don't like chores. They are best friends, and they are about to hit Chester's very first sleepover. These graphic novels feature the same characters from Cale's picture book, Sir Simon Super Scarer. The series for ages 6 to 10 is packed with puns, sight gags, and Cale's vibrant, energetic art. DreamWorks snapped up the rights to Simon & Chester, and the series is currently being developed for TV. There are 2 books available right now, and look for more ghost hijinks in seasons to come. And now for middle grade. First, we have the follow-up to the critically acclaimed Barren Grounds, The Great Bear. Back at home after their first adventure in the Barren Grounds, Eli and Morgan each struggle with personal issues. Eli is being bullied at school and tries to hide it from Morgan, while Morgan has an important decision about her birth mother. They turn to the place where they know they can learn the most and make the journey to Missawa to visit their animal friends. This time, they travel back in time and discover that the village is once again in peril, and they must dig deep within themselves to find the strength to protect their beloved friends. This is the second in the middle grade adventure series that has been described as Narnia meets traditional Indigenous stories. Cree author David Robertson draws on his own heritage and touches on contemporary Indigenous issues, as well as drawing from a deep well of traditional stories and knowledge to create an engaging and kid-friendly series for fans of Rick Riordan Presents. Just a note that the first book in the Missawa saga is now available in paperback. Don't miss the start of this thrilling series, which received multiple starred reviews, is currently a Texas 2x2 selection, and was a Kirkus Best Book of the Year in 2020. This is an excellent series for educators looking to incorporate stories about Indigenous people and history into their lessons, including the residential school system, the impact of the foster care system, and traditional beliefs. David is an amazing presenter. Don't miss his book commercial for this book, available on the Tundra Books YouTube channel. It wouldn't be spooky season without some witches. Escape to Witch City takes place in an alternate Victorian London, where a sentence of witchcraft comes with dire consequences, and all children who've reached the age of 13 are tested to ensure they have no witch blood. Emma's results set her on a course to challenge everything she's ever been taught about magic. Secret cities, untapped powers, and missing family members, Emma is about to discover a whole new world. This is the perfect middle grade adventure for readers who like fantastic world building and a light thrill. To find out more, don't miss author E. Latimer, who will be appearing on the Action, Adventure, and Intrigue panel at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Now let's move from witches to that other Halloween staple, ghosts. In the dollhouse, Alice's world is falling apart. Her parents are getting a divorce, and Alice and her mom are heading to a small town where Alice's mom will be a live-in nurse to a rich elderly lady. The house is huge, imposing, and spooky, and everything inside is meticulously kept and perfect. Not a fun place to spend the summer. Things start to get weird when Alice finds a dollhouse in the attic that's an exact replica of the house she's living in. Then she wakes up to find a girl asleep next to her in bed. A girl who looks a lot like one of the dolls from the dollhouse. Karis Cotter writes classic, spine-tingling ghost stories for young readers. This is a great read for fans of the classic Dollhouse Murders by Betty Wren Wright and the more contemporary middle grade thrillers such as Small Spaces by Catherine Arden. Continuing our fall theme of thrills and chills, we have Aggie Morton Mystery Queen, Dead Man in the Garden, the third book in the delightfully devious murder mystery series inspired by the imagined childhood of Agatha Christie and her most popular creation, Hercule Poirot. For young detective Aggie Morton and her friend Hector, a spa stay becomes a lot more thrilling when 2 dead bodies are found. Here you see the first 3 books in the series, which will conclude next fall. I think these look fantastic together and make for excellent binge reading, especially for those of us who loved Enola Holmes. You do not need to be a fan or even be familiar with Agatha Christie to enjoy the Aggie Morton books, but for those who do love the Mistress of Murder, I highly recommend the series for adults as well. I loved the audio edition of the first book, which might make for some cozy family listening as the days get colder, shorter, and darker this fall. Finally, we have 2 YA titles. Walking in Two Worlds is the latest book from Indigenous performer, writer, and politician Wab Kinew. This genre bender is perfect for fans of Jason Segel and Kirsten Miller's Otherworld and Warcross by Marie Lu. In the real world, Bugs is a shy and self-conscious Indigenous teen who faces the stresses of life on the res. But in the virtual world, her alter ego is not just confident, but dominant in a massive multiplayer video game universe. Feng is a teen boy who has been sent from China to live with his aunt, a doctor on the res, after his online activities suggests he may be developing extremist sympathies. Meeting each other in real life, as well as in the virtual world, Bugs and Feng immediately relate to each other as outsiders and avid gamers. But betrayal threatens everything Bugs has built in the virtual world, and she must learn to reconcile the parallel aspects of her life, the traditional and the mainstream, the East and the West, the real and the virtual. Walking in Two Worlds weaves together many themes and issues facing teens today, including an increasingly virtual space, gaming, cultural and societal pressures, and more. Wab Kinew has dedicated his life to celebrating and amplifying Indigenous culture, and this novel decolonizes and challenges the YA fantasy novel, weeding in needed perspectives and voices. Most recently, video of Wab challenging the new Manitoba Indigenous Reconciliation Minister for his insensitive and unfounded comments regarding residential schools went viral. Be advised that this book contains scenes depicting suicidal thoughts, attempted suicide, body shaming, as well as mentions of cutting and drug use. Debut author Shirin J. Zhao had an incredible response when they announced their book deal for Iron Widow online. Maybe not so surprising when you consider their 64,000 Twitter followers and the combined 2.2 million YouTube video views across 5 videos that explore Asian cultural inspirations in pop culture. Their debut novel, Iron Widow, is an adrenaline-packed, genre-bending read based on the life of China's only female emperor. In a reimagined China, boys dream of pairing up with girls to pilot chrysalises, giant transforming robots that can battle the aliens that lurk beyond the Great Wall of China. It doesn't matter that the girls die from the mental strain. When 18-year-old Zetian offers herself up as a concubine pilot, it's to assassinate the male pilot responsible for her sister's death. But when she gets her vengeance, it becomes clear that she is an Iron Widow, a rare kind of female pilot who can sacrifice males to power up chrysalises instead. And Zetian vows to be their nightmare and force her society to stop failing its women and girls. The author describes the book as 400 pages of female rage, something that is resonating with readers, as Iron Widow has made many most anticipated lists, including BuzzFeed, Nerd Daily, and Tor.com. Iron Widow is our top requested title on NetGalley and is racking up the rave reviews on Goodreads and from authors like Julie C. Dow, who calls Iron Widow, quote, brutal, bloodthirsty, and full of rage. Zetian's fight to shatter patriarchal definitions of power makes for a truly thrilling read, end quote. Be advised that this book contains scenes of violence, abuse, suicide ideation, alcohol addiction, torture, references and discussion of sexual assault, though no on-page depiction. And those are our top 15 choices for your readers this fall. Thank you for joining us, and I hope that you've been inspired to check out some of these new titles. Feel free to visit our booth for excerpts and downloadables, and be sure to connect with us online. We have plenty of free activity sheets, discussion guides, and other book extras at tundrabooks.com, and we love chatting about books across social. Happy spooky season, everyone.